Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Max, and today we are again going to be reviewing the AngelHalo Smart LED Light Strip with a cover. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you know I reviewed this exact product just a few weeks ago, and I actually used these to add ambient lighting to our master bedroom. Now, AngelHalo reached back out to me, and they really loved the video, but they wanted me to do another install video showing off what this looked like when it was fully exposed versus just casting ambient lighting. Since we were liking the product so much, I of course agreed, and I made the decision to install this along the trim that leads down to our basement. I figured that this would add a lot of cool colors and effects, especially when we're entertaining people down there, so I'm really excited about that. And by putting on a trim, it's a prime spot to show off how it makes twists and turns along the wall as it winds down the stairs. Again, thank you AngelHalo for providing this product for a review. I really appreciate it, and I'm really enjoying the products you've sent me so far. They've not only sent me this LED light strip, but also sent me an awesome and very affordable smart light bulb that I've also done a video on. I will definitely include that link in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. And yeah, since in my first video for this, I already did an unboxing going over everything that came with this set, I'm not gonna go over that in this video today. I'll simply just link that in the video now, so if you want to see that detail, definitely check out the first video on this particular lighting set. So that way we can just jump straight into the install, which I'm gonna switch to now. Now, installing these lights is pretty simple. It comes with a ton of track pieces that you can line up wherever you need to go and then adhere to the wall using 3M adhesive. They also have pilot holes in them if you want to screw them into place, but for the purposes of the install that I've done so far, this has yet to be required. They include plenty of extra hardware and adhesive if you need it as a part of your install, and each lighting length comes with both a track and a cover for it to add a nice diffused lighting effect. You'll definitely want to make sure you measure the area to make sure the 16.4 feet that comes in the set covers what you're trying to do. And as always with anything electronic, I recommend that you plug it in to make sure it all works as you start the install. Now, when starting out with my particular install, I chose to snap the covers onto the tracks. When you snap them on, it adds a slight bit of thickness to it, and I wanted to make sure as I was adhering the tracks to the wall that I had enough clearance for them to fit on. If I'd simply just pressed the tracks against my trim to begin with, then there would be no hair space for me to slide those covers back on. From here is pretty easy. I just stuck them into place and moved from one segment to the other. Then I got to my first area where the trim dropped down to the landing. For this, I needed to cut both the length to be short enough so it didn't stick out over this drop point, as well as cut another length to go in the vertical position. For this, I just used a pair of clippers that I had available, but if you have it, an oscillating saw and a sander will definitely give you a much cleaner cut. Once down to the landing, I made my way around this square area. This is where I got to first use one of the corner joints, which as you can see, I was able to press into place to allow a nice cap and finish to that turn that I had to make along the wall. Continuing on, I hit another area where we had a slight change in direction as the landing hit the rest of the stairs. Again, I had to cut one of my lengths short and then started the next length down the stairs at that sloped angle. From here was pretty easy, just pressing and sticking, and that gave me the track ready to start my installed light run. Now this is the point where you could potentially drill these into place, but since I did not know if I had to maneuver these at all, I opted to not do that step. Now with all these in place, I had to remove the covers and start pressing the lighting into place. The LED light strip provided comes pre-installed with 3M adhesive, so all you have to do is peel back that protective coating and then stick that into place. I did this segment by segment, pushing it into place and making sure that it ran smoothly against the wall. Now, when I did have to make those turns that were vertical versus horizontal, I did get a bit of resistance. The set is definitely not designed for that, and it is probably more abnormal to have to do those type of moves like I had to do with installing these into the stairs. I was able to make this work though, and it wasn't too much of a problem. Again, just peeled and stuck as I went along my run, and I was able to get all this lighting into place. Now, what was surprisingly the most difficult part of this install was reinstalling those covers. As I said at the beginning, I put them on before pressing them into place to allow for enough clearance so that I could snap them back on. But even in doing that, there wasn't a lot of space to play with, and I struggled at times to get that to snap back in once I had pulled it off. Now, if you were doing a flat run, this could be a lot easier because you could just slide it along the track and slide it off if you have them all lined up. But for me, that was hitting these awkward angles or runs that ended in a wall where there was no clearance for me to slide that on. It was pretty frustrating to get those covers back on. However, with a little bit of elbow grease and some patience, I was able to get all those covers back into place. Now, the final step that I had to get this install finished was to run the power to it. And since I didn't want a wire hanging out down my stairs, I opted to drill a little hole into my drywall to run that wire through. Now my basement right now is unfinished, so the other side of these stairs is completely exposed, which made this really easy for me to do. But obviously, if you don't have that luxury, you're gonna have to figure out how you're getting power to wherever you're running these lights and figure out the best way to hide that run. With the power all set up and everything plugged in, all that was left to do was to turn these on and then sync them with the app on my phone. Now the one extra step that I actually had to deal with when doing this install was due to the fact that the elbow brackets that this set comes with are only designed for turns in the wall on a horizontal plane. Since I was dealing with going up and down my stairs, I had vertical turns that I had to deal with and ones that weren't exact right angles. Now this is very specific to my install, but I had to make do with the accessories provided, so I ended up cutting and modifying some of the additional parts that came with this set to get them to fit in and cover up various parts of my run. Once I was satisfied with the way that looked, I then just had to put on the end caps, power this up, and sync it with my phone. And yeah, with all that said and done, I shut off the lights, and here's what the full effect looks like with these on. Now I have to say right off the bat, the effects of these lights are incredible. I said it in my first video, and I'll say it again, that this probably has some of the widest ranging and dynamic effects that I've seen in all the smart lighting sets that I've used. They are very advanced, they are very varied, and they look great with that cover on it, which adds a perfect amount of diffusion to blend all the lighting together. I specifically like the way these look out in the open and think it has a really clean finish that adds a nice complement to my stairs, which lead down to an entertainment area, and having these lights on for parties or get together will be a really cool touch and something that I think my guests will enjoy. You have the full gamut of colors to choose from, you have both warm and cool white to choose from, and a ton of built-in effects that can give you any type of ambiance or vibe that you're looking for with your setup. Install is relatively easy, and syncing this with your phone to get access to all the effects is relatively painless. You can have these set up for a schedule, you can sync these to music, you can really do a lot, and I think it would actually be really cool to have a set of these up on the wall behind me if I were to ever create a studio with that type of effect in the background. Now the only downside that I really have to this product is the fact that it doesn't have many varied options in terms of corner brackets. Like I said, it has one if you're on a horizontal plane making those turns that are common in a traditional wall, but if you were to use these to do turns along a vertical plane, it doesn't really include anything to allow you to do that. As you can see, I kind of had to cobble stuff together, and given the fact that I was not using a sander or an oscillating saw, it doesn't have the cleanest look to it. My biggest recommendation for AngelHalo with this set, or with their site in general, is to offer accessories that are either flexible so that you can do abnormal turns, or at the very least joints that go in the up and down direction versus just the around the corner direction. But other than that, I think these lights are absolutely awesome, and as I said in my first video, highly recommend them to anyone who's looking to get this type of setup and effects in their home. As always, I will include links in the description below if you're interested in this product or any of the other products that I've discussed on the channel today. But yeah, that's all I had to talk about. If you did enjoy this content and you want to see more, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to see more. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.